Hello, my friends in Sasquatch land. Monday nights here once again on the Untold Radio Network. And Discover Sasquatch is back on the air. I am your host, the OG, Chris Reinhardt. And welcome one and all to tonight's podcast. We have a very special guest for you from Alabama in the Deep South. Our friend, you all know him as Mr. Flatrockwoodbooger. I know him as Ken also, so Ken will be our special guest tonight. Hello, Miss Francesca E. How are you doing tonight? Miss Diane Fowler's with us. Hello, Mr. Richard Jr. Everybody's pouring in to see our friend tonight. Mr. Steve Wolf is with us tonight, bright and early. Good to see you, Mr. Wolf, tonight. So I hope everybody's well. I'm doing very well. Before we go any further and before I forget, next week's guest will be Blue-Eyed Northern herself, Miss Pat Harrison. She'll be with us next week, sharing a lot of stuff that she's found down in her areas that she investigates at, and we're looking very forward to this. We're doing like a little southern tour right now. We have the girls from Sass also coming up. We also have Coonbo will be joining us. We also have Eric Tipton will be after Pat. Spencer Jameson's coming up after that. And the list goes on and on. So we're doing a little tour of the South right now. And I'm very excited to have each and every one as a guest here on the show. So again, welcome one and all. Mr. SoCal Squatcher is now with us. Thank you for all joining and making your Monday night with us here at Discover Sasquatch. Got to play something for the boss, and then we're going to bring our guest out. Ladies and gentlemen, your friend and my friend, Mr. Flatrockwoodbooger.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, my friend. How are you?
Doing good, Chris. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day and spending us here tonight with us at Discover Sasquatch. It's always, Monday nights, again, I say the same thing. I'm like a broken record, but Monday night's tough. Beginning of the work week, everybody starts getting rolling. And so thank you so much for taking time and sharing your interactions with us here.
Thank you.
All right. So, as you know, I know who you are, and most of the people that are pouring into the chat right now know you are, but I'm sure there's a couple people out there that don't know who Flatrock is. You want to give them a little short bio before we get started, please?
Yes, sir. Well, I lost my house during Hurricane Michael, so we relocated here in Alabama and bought 25 acres, put some homes out here. And, we started having some problems, with some things beating on our homes and screaming out the doors. And we found out what it was. It ended up being Bigfoots out here, and it caused a lot of problems out here. It did, mostly in my family, my personal family. It caused problems. Yes, it did.
So how big of a piece of property did you buy, and how many houses did you throw up, Flatrock?
Well, there's 3 homes out here. Mine, my mom's, and then there's Mr. Bobby up front. And my brother Jerry, my oldest brother, he retired and he lives up front as well. But I'm back here on the very back end. My personal space is 3 acres and about a 25,000 acre lease right here at my front door.
So you said at the beginning that, you had things hitting your house and you had strange howls in the night and stuff like that. When was the moment that you finally realized, or the incident that took place, that you realized that, hey, I might have Sasquatch living on our property?
Well, we was eating over at my mom's house, and me, my wife, my mom, and Mr. Bobby, and we started hearing some yelling outside, and we come out with some flashlights, and never seen nothing, but I had started recording because there was other incidents earlier. So I got back here, me and my wife, and and I brought the camera in here and plugged it into my computer and started listening. And we found out the source of that yelling was right here at the house, right outside my window. And what we didn't hear over there was this thing was beating on our home. And the yelling it was doing, it was intense. I mean, the recorder really don't give it justice, but it was intense. But when we really realized, they were Bigfoots, is when I actually seen one. But there was also something, that I caught, crossing through my yard, sidestepping. But that's really when, intentions started going toward Bigfoots, because there's no bears here. So, focus was there, but I didn't want to say nothing until I actually laid eyes on one, and that we did.
Were you a believer before this? Did you ever think
No,
of Sasquatch?
I was a total denier, Chris. Total denier.
Now you mentioned that you had a couple little things that happened before they started beating on the house. What were a couple of, what happened before the big incident?
All right, it all started, them hitting on my mom's house. I ain't even moved out here yet, but I'd come out here to hunt, and I was staying at my mom's trailer where she was living up front at the time, and I'm laid out on the couch. Me and my brother was gonna go hunting that morning, and next thing you know, 3 hard licks on the side of the trailer. And I jump up. I'm thinking, I'm just running late. That's my brother banging at the door. Well, I get up and I look out that triangle window, and it's still dark. It's only 3 o'clock in the morning. My brother's still asleep. So, that was one of the first instance. And the second instance, something hit my dog with a rock. That was the second instant. Third instant, when we'd pull up in the yard, coming in from a grocery store or a restaurant from eating, we'd always hear walking away, from where we were parking. And other instance, we'd hear howls, but I throw them off as possible coyote, and that's basically what all went on before that incident.
Right. Now you actually have the recording of them pounding on the house when this was the big one. This is finally realized that you got something really going on. Do you want to give a little backstory on how you recorded it, what you were doing?
What I was doing, after I caught that one walking across, which I didn't know it was one at first, walking across, I started recording from there on, putting the recorder on back porch of my mom's, and put my camera at my back window, facing the tree line. And and when the camera's on, it's gonna record every sound. So that's what it did, and it recorded what it recorded.
All right. Well, we're gonna play this for everybody. Now, this is coming off of a security camera, correct?
No, that's actually coming out of a regular camera, like this one right here.
Okay.
Like out of a Panasonic camera.
Okay. All right. We're gonna play this for everybody, and how would you like to have this happen? At your home. Here we go.
that's when we came out of the house right after that yell. And he shuts up until we cut, until he sees that flashlight, and then he bows on back in the woods.
Is he all done, Flatrock, or is there more?
Yeah, he's all done. He's only got to say one more thing and head back into the woods, but that was about it.
We're gonna play this for everybody one more time. Now, listen to when it hits. You can actually hear things vibrate on the walls. Like you can hear the wall vibrate from the I gather from its fist or hand or whatever it's hitting the walls with. Here we go, one more time.
That's about it, Chris.
So now you mentioned seeing a Sasquatch. It could possibly be the one that's doing this. How can you describe for everybody what you've seen? How big this Sasquatch was?
The one I got on security camera, was also sticking in the back window, and I wanted to get a better, not just record but also film, in different directions. So I bought that security camera and pointed it toward my mom's house because for some reason something kept following her around. Every time she'd come outside, you could hear her walking through the woods. So I pointed that camera toward her house, and that camera picked up something. It was only a 15-second video. You could actually see one standing there at the tree line, looking right straight back at her when she was standing on that back porch back there. That thing was just there watching her, and I sent you a picture of it.
Okay. Let me see if I can find that real quick. While I'm looking for it, how did your family react initially? What were they scared to death? Were skeptical that it could be a Sasquatch? How was the family feeling?
When we found out how real they were, we were scared to death. We really was. We didn't know anything about these creatures. Only thing we knew was what we heard out there, from open mouths, from stories we never believed. But we thought we were gonna die. We did. We thought we were gonna die because we were surrounded by these creatures. What we actually found out later, we was actually surrounded by these creatures.
Well, what most people don't know is that you were recording these guys on audio and recording them video, not to at first not to capture anything, not to investigation, but to stay safe. You were worried. The family was worried, and
yeah.
I mean that.
Well, my wife, after that banging on the house, that caused a big issue, with our family. But my wife, she was stricken with fear, strict with fear. I mean, it was sad to see her. It was. She wouldn't go out the house. She wouldn't do nothing outside. And and we had to make a decision. It was either let her, stay here and be that way, live in fear, or separate our marriage. Stig's married, but just live in different places. So that's what we chose, as both of us chose, and I moved her over to our daughter's house back in Florida, and that's the way that's been ever since.
That has to be hard. That has to be hard.
It's hard. It was hard. Yeah.
I can tell by the
hard today.
way you just talked about it that that's your wife. And did you guys ever think about leaving, selling, any of that?
Yeah, we have, but we put ourselves. We lost our home, like I said, during Hurricane Michael. Also, I just had cancer surgery, and bought this home, and we was $100,000 in debt. So no, we were stuck. We were stuck, and
so sorry to hear that. I feel awful, but you're doing well now. I mean, you've picked up the pieces and you've moved along, and you're a strong man and strong family. And
yep.
As we go down the line here, people will see just how strong you really are. So I dug up the pictures. Now, is this the picture at night that you sent me? Is that the one that you're claiming?
No, it was a daytime shot.
Yeah.
That night one is researcher that was with me. His name was Wesley Ackerman. And that's when I was actually looking for help. And so I got a hold of a reporter who was reporting Bigfoot sightings here in Evergreen and all around the county. And he gave me Wesley Ackerman's name. So I called him up and told him what was going on. He met me over there and found out he was a preacher. And his son come with him, and we're sitting here in the house, and I'm playing him some of the recordings that I've recorded, along with beating on the house. And so we got through talking. We was gonna go back out there toward the fire. And about the time we walked outside, there was a little hill that was right here on the end of my house, and I had a trail cam sit right there. And when we walked out, you could see the trail cam flash, but it was flashing at us. Well, I took the card out, looked at the pictures, and as we walked out of the house, we had one standing right behind us, within 20 feet, standing right behind us.
I'm going to show everybody that picture right now.
Oh, no, that's in my tree stand.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure which one.
That one.
Off to the left there. You can see the eye shine.
Yeah, he's right there behind us.
Huh. So your mom lives on the property, and
Right.
has she ever seen a Sasquatch? Has she had
Yes,
any?
she has. Yes, she has. She was her and Bob was coming home, I think, from going off to eat that night. And as they was pulling in the driveway, got halfway down the driveway, coming around to my mom's home, they seen some eye shine right off to their left. And they stopped the car. And suddenly, Bobby, put on his bright lights, and he could see the full silhouette. Both of them could see the full silhouette. He was right there beside of a tree, and that he wouldn't move. He'd move off to the side, back and forth, but he would not move. He would not move. He didn't run away. He sure didn't. But that's when they seen one. And they've also seen one on the other side of the bridge over here at the creek.
What does she think? What does she think of the Sasquatches?
She don't come outside. She don't come outside at night, so she's scared of them.
I don't blame you. How many do you think, living on this property that you have living around you?
Definitely a full clan. I mean, I've seen babies, I've seen big ones, multiple big ones. But I believe there's two different clans that move in off the river, because I think that's what their path through is down that river, and they come. Since I'm not far from the river here, they move right through here, probably down the creek line as well. And the creek's just right out a few hundred yards out my front door there.
Do you
I
think?
believe that's where they're coming from.
Go ahead.
That was
Do you-
it.
All right. Do you think that it has to do with territorial? Do you think that you guys moved into their territory? That's why they're banging on the house and
Yeah. Because we're the first people to actually live on this property. And we also know from people who sold it that there are two small Indian mounds as well on this property. Now, I don't know if that's got anything to do with it. I don't. But, I've heard, online here a few times, where there is Indian mounds and Bigfoots as well, connected.
so you got high energy areas on in the area.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Are how close will they come to you if you're out at night? If say you're out in the middle of the yard and you got a little fire burning and you guys are cooking some hot dogs and hamburgers, how close will they come in? Will they get real close?
30 feet. Now I give you one. When Pat, Joe, Bud, Angie, and Miss Jody was here, they come in real close. I sent you an audio where they done a good whoop. Bud and Angie was in their truck, where they were sleeping at, and they had one come right up to their truck and whooped. They come up, and I believe they was also teasing my dog, to come toward the fence as well, and so yeah, they come in close a lot. During certain times of the year, they come in real close.
I want to play that. We're gonna end the show with that with Miss Jody and everybody at the end because it's like 5 minutes long, but it's a great clip and that's what I want to end with. So stay tuned for that because they had some crazy stuff go on when they all came out to visit. But he sent me a recording of a whoop that he just talked about, and it's like one of the best whoop. It's a whoop. There's no denying what it is, and it's probably one of the best ones I've ever heard. So I'm gonna play that for you right now.
And this was just in this past October, so it's still real recent.
All right, here we go. Here comes the whoop for everybody. I can hear you all talking in the background, just hanging out. I'll play it a couple more times. Why do you think they vocalize with you guys? Do you think do they want you to know that they're close by? Do they want your reaction? Why do you think they're this close in vocalizing?
I believe they just come in, being curious with what we was doing out there. We was all having a good time that night. I mean, we didn't hear it with our own ears, but my listening device, which was right there, because he was right there close to that listening device. And so I think they just come in to listen to us and and just being curious about us.
Right. So you let people come in your property to investigate because you don't consider yourself an investigator, but me personally, I consider yourself an investigator, but that's okay. You could, you could. I understand where you're coming from, and I know you want to be safe, and I understand that's why you do it and all that. So you invite certain people in, and you let them, come into the property. You let them do their own thing, and as long as they have respect, they follow the rules, they do all that. What were some of their reactions of some of the people that have visited you over the years about once they come, they stay for a little while, and then they leave? What is their reaction of Flat Rock's property?
Well, these people who's come over and actually put their eyes on these creatures, um, you know, I believe Miss Pat, Mr. Parker, Squatching Cowboy, Miss Jody, Bud, Angie, and a lot of others. They leave here impressed. I hope they do. There's been two people who didn't believe in Bigfoot until after they left here. And like Miss April, Squatching Cowboy's wife, and who else was that? There was another one, who really didn't believe, and they left out as a believer as well. But they have also been researchers here. I think two of them, that we didn't catch absolutely nothing because it rained the whole time, so really we didn't catch nothing, but hopefully they're impressed by the time they leave here.
Do you think that the Sasquatch are attracted to certain people? Do you think they'll come closer to certain individuals and stay away from others?
Uh, from what I understand, from listening and dealing with them out here, yeah, I do. Because, when they was gravitating toward my mom, we'd hear them and they'd always be right there, either in front of her home, on the back side of her home, which is right out my back door, and they'd always be watching her house. It wouldn't be over here, which I'm very close, but they wouldn't be over here. They'd just be over there around her house, and that's where I mostly got majority of my footage from, my pictures and my videos. Was from off her back porch and out her one of her windows, and so yeah, I actually believe that. Yeah.
Now you've collected, quite the number of evidence like footprints and castings. But the biggest thing that's going on right now is that Alba Verdict, that white handprint, the smudges
Yep.
that are, and now that's being found all over the place.
Yep.
And now it's being tested. Actually, they're testing it for Legend Meets Science too. I believe you sent the sample to Doug. That's going to be analyzed for the Alba Verdict. I'm going to share a picture. You couldn't pull it up on my regular pictures, but I'm going to pull it up right now. It'll take me a couple of seconds, guys. Just got the right window here. Sorry, everybody. I couldn't load this one up. There we go. Here we go. All right, now here we go. Now here's that handprint. You want to fill now look at the size, look at the foot underneath, and look at the size of that handprint. That is just amazing to me. See if I can get it bigger here. There we go. You want to give everybody a little background on that, Ken?
Yeah, this was a week after Joe and Pat and Bud and Angie and Jody were here. I usually take my dog out, before it gets dark, so nothing was on the handrail at that time. That's on my porch down my ramp. And so I come back in, go back out that morning for his morning use, and there that handprint was. So it happened on October 12th, 2023, and I had somebody collect it the very next day, so it was real fresh when they collected it. And I actually cut that board now and actually got it right here in my house. You know, that handprint's still there. Still there.
Now that's a great piece of evidence. Did you guys measure it? What was the measurements on that hand? Because it looked pretty.
It's a small hand. It's actually a small hand. It really is. It's smaller than my hand. You know, there's no kids here. You know, we're all adults here. There's absolutely no kids. And that hand is smaller than that hand. You know, it's half the size of my hand. So it's a small one.
It's got that hitch. I want to show that one more time. It's got that hitch on the thumb. See how far that thumb comes off on that side right here? Way over here. Look at that. There's the end of the thumb. And then it's got that hitch in it. It must be just the camera angle. So I apologize for that. I thought it was a little bit bigger. But it's still.
I should have sent you the one with my hand right beside it. But
yeah, no, that's the only one I got.
Here. Yeah, no, I said I should have sent you the one with my hand right beside it as well, but I didn't do it.
Hey, that's my fault. It just looks bigger because of the camera angle, so I apologize to everybody. But still, that's a great piece of evidence. I'm going to show some more great pieces of it. Now, this is coming again from.
Oh, we got that's hair I collected. That's when Roger Pettyfield. He's actually lives right there close to Squatch and Cowboy, but he lives in Louisiana right there at the Sabine River. Him and the son came over, and that was the second one who didn't believe in Bigfoot when that I was telling you about. But anyway, we went down the road here back into the lease, and we went up this big trail that was a lot bigger than a deer could go down. And we ended up finding, a hut. Cast a footprint right there close to that hut. It was like an igloo hut, but it was small, like it was for a baby or something. But right on the other side of that hut, about 30 feet, we come across this hair on the ground, and it was a big wide spread of it, and it looked like something had laid down, and it was just scratching its back like that right there, like it was scratching shed hair off. And, and it was just a big old round spot of hair, and he's got most of it. Roger's got most of it. And I got that from him, which that's all I needed, just hair to keep. I don't see it as any DNA value because it was basically shed hair. But, and I don't think you can DNA test shed hair, so I never sent that off. I just kept it.
I'll have to check into that for you because you might be able to. They can really test anything these days. Let's show this one here too.
Yeah, that's when they grabbed my truck one day. That was also last year. You can actually see two handprints. One right around the middle of the door that's even with the handle, and also where they grabbed my handle. My window was halfway down, so I believe they got up there at my door just to look in the window to see if there was any food down in my truck.
These are great pieces of evidence. Now, people could say, well, these aren't Sasquatch prints. These are just normal prints, handprints. Someone's in your yard. Someone's sneaking in and doing this. I mean, you hear it all the time. I'm sure you've heard it. I've heard it. You're doing. How do you handle that? How do you handle from people telling you that that this isn't the real thing?
I just blow it off. I know they're real. My family knows they're real, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters. That we know they're real. We protect ourselves from these creatures that are right out our doors. And nobody else lives here. I brought numerous researchers here so they could see themselves. They left out of here with evidence every time, except for a couple. And I'll leave it at that. They can either believe it or they don't. I don't care.
In my book, you're 100% the real deal, and I can't wait to come visit. We're actually,
you're always welcome, Chris.
Hopefully, we're coming in June. I think that's the plan. We're doing a little southern tour down there in June, so
yep.
There and go to Spooky Mountain too, at the same time as see Mark, and that'll be good times. Good times. So. Yes. Now we just talked on people saying that they could be a person leaving this, could be that. You have another recording of them walking on the porch, and I think this is one of the craziest recordings I heard because you talk everybody through it. You tell everybody what they're doing, and I would love for you to do that because the first time I heard it, that's exactly what you do. You said he's picking up a chair, he's doing this.
Yeah. Why? What it does, this is when it first started happening, we seen something cross the yard, and we thought it was a person. And we went after it with guns and never found them, but we come back up on the porch and we heard some noise over in the trees. And we walked over there. Told them we hear you, come out. Anyway, it never came out. So we told them whoever it was, going back out there to the road, but don't come back through this yard. So we went back home, and I was staying in an RV at that time. And so later, I don't think it was the same night, but the next night or next morning, whichever, I had put a recorder out just in case, it was a thief coming through the yard, and my mom had a lot of stuff up on her back porch. So I put a recorder out to see if this person was coming up on the porch. And that morning, or that night, we heard screaming, yelling, beating on the chest. And you could actually, let me hold it there and calm down. That scared the you-know-what out of us at first. Because we thought whoever was in the yard brought other people there. But all the screaming, yelling and all, they never come around the trailer where we were at, so we didn't see who it was. So anyway, next night, I put a recorder out, and you could actually hear something large walk up on the porch, lift up a double solid oak rocking chair, pick it up and drop it, and then he moves in to start, getting into stuff. And I believe that's the way all that went down. Them at that time.
What were they up there looking for? What do you believe they were looking for?
Food, because it happened in July of 2019, and I think it was July 5th is when they come up on the porch. The night of July 4th into the 5th is when they were yelling. So in the 5th into the 6th is when they come up on the porch. They was licking the grease tray. And so that's what I believe it was all about.
Well, again, before I play this clip, you don't go onto someone's property in the woods and deep in the woods in Alabama and expect not to have controversy. You know what I mean? You guys are locked and loaded. and you don't want people on your property. So again, that's another angle you could look at it, saying that these are not people that are showing up on your doorstep trying to mess with you, because they're going to get shot, period. So just another thing that I wouldn't do. I wouldn't come on your property in the middle of the night and try and mess with you. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. And we're back here in the woods, we're back here. And yet that was happening. But, we didn't got to know our neighbors yet. So we didn't know really. We thought it was people. We did. We really thought it was people.
Okay. So here we go. I'm going to play this. This is on his porch. What time of the night was that at, Flatrock?
I do not know. Do not know. It was sometime during the night. We never heard that because that was the next night after the screaming. And so I don't know. It was just sometime during the night.
Just let everybody know we're going to open up some questions for Flatrock coming up soon. Please, all in capital letters so I can find you. And let you get in a couple of questions with Flatrock. I just want to say this is some amazing stuff, and I want to say thank you, because people don't realize that it's not easy coming out with this stuff. It's not easy reliving this stuff. It's not easy, the situation that you're in, the stuff that your family has gone through with these guys. They have changed your entire existence. They have changed your entire life. And for you to come on a show like this and sit down and share your story with everybody is pretty huge in my book. And I applaud you for that. And I want to say thank you for that, because awareness is huge. Awareness needs to happen. And who better to get awareness from is from people that have them habituating at their property. They have they're living right there. You can't get any closer to them than that. So I just want to say thank you. And it means a lot for awareness. And I appreciate everything you guys do. So that being said, I'll give you a question. Miss Francesca E's asking the question right now. Have you tried appeasing or gifting, or has any aggressiveness calmed down?
I have thrown apples out there, but feeding them outside that, no. Aggressiveness has, eased, yes.
What would you recommend to people, seeing how you deal with them almost all the time? would you recommend feeding them? Do you recommend if they're on your
No,
property to bring them
no,
in closer?
no. I mean, there was a time I did bait them in. I did bait them in when Miss Pat, Joe, Bud, and Angie, and Jody was here. I did bait them in, and that's why we was able to collect 3 good days and nights of some great audio. Most audio I've ever collected in a 3-day period was when they were here, and I did bait them in, and we did get some great evidence.
I have to agree with you on that. I heard a lot of it from everybody because you and Pat and Bud, and I'm friends with all you, and you did guys had some crazy stuff go on.
Now, I will say this also. We ended up, my dog, we came over here to the fence line where my dog was, get him back over toward the fire. And he came right back to us, and he had something in his mouth. And I got it from him. And it looked like something had tore the hide off a deer. And it was fresh as crazy. I mean, it was literally fresh, and it's in on Bud and Angie's one of Bud and Angie's videos, Fun Adventures with Bud and Angie. You can actually see that piece of meat, and you see how fresh it was, but it looked like something just literally ripped off the hide of a deer and left it there at the fence.
It's reported. They do it often. Lloyd Northern asks, have you got anything back on the DNA on the handprint yet?
No, we ain't got it back yet, no.
Miss Francesca goes,
Because as soon as I get it back, I'll be posting that up on the Facebook page.
I know they're working hard on all them samples right now. They got a ton of samples, so I know they're working real hard on getting that all done.
Plus, I got that piece of wood that it did leave its handprint on. I got it covered, where that handprint was and sealed off, so anytime, if something happens to that DNA samples, I still got that piece of wood with their DNA still right there on that wood.
That was good thinking. Good thinking. Francesca says, we truly appreciate you sharing with us, Flatrock.
Thank you, Miss Francesca.
A lot of people are grateful. Yeah. So Cal Squatcher says, really grateful you shared your experience with us, Flatrock. Keep on coming. Here's another one for you. As I said before, I really admire you, Flatrock, for your tenaciousness and everything that you have been through, having to deal with these creatures. God bless you and your family.
Thank you, Miss Diane.
A lot of good people in this chat, and I just wanted to say thank you for showing up week after week after week, and you're one of them too, Flatrock. I appreciate all of you. I love you all. You guys are good people, and it means a lot to me. If it wasn't for you, I probably wouldn't be doing any of this anymore. But I enjoy your guys' company. I enjoy interacting with all of you, and so thank you. All right, here's a question for you. Have you put up booger lights and game cams to keep a perimeter around the house?
Yep, that's how we caught that eye shine that was tending right behind us. That the game cameras, they didn't seem to me they didn't care about them. I mean, even in my tree stand, that first picture you showed in the nighttime, you can see one right there in this 8-frame tree. And he's just either standing or squatted right there between that tree. And I sent also with it, I sent, where I went back in there right after I got that trail cam picture and stood right where it was. And you could actually see the difference in the size between me and it. It's crazy. I mean, I'm small up to that thing. But you see him right there in between that tree. He's in there. And that was from a trail cam.
So you believe that they can be caught. It's just, when,
I'm
if, and how.
sorry.
You believe that they can be caught. It's just a matter of when, if, and how. They have to be in the right area at the right time.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe they was in there ambushing my deer. That was in my deer stand, right out my front door, about 50 yards into the woods. I think they was in there ambushing my deer.
So let's talk a little bit about that. You sent me a picture of a deer. It's pretty graphic, everybody. I just want to let you know before I show it. So if you got a queasy stomach, you might want to turn your head for a couple minutes. I'm just going to show it real quick, and then let Flatrock talk about it a little bit, and then I'll take it right down.
All right. Now you can see the skin's still on that thing.
Yeah, what's the story behind this?
The story is when Joe, Parker, Pat, Squatching Cowboy, and Miss April were here, and we went down there toward the creek to go looking in there, and we come across the killing field, and we found 6 whole deer. They were meatless, and they had their leg broken or their neck broken, or it looked like they were slammed up against a tree because they were right up against trees. Well, we walked out. Well, the next weekend, another researcher come over and we went over there, but we went further, and that's when I come across that one, which that's in the same area. And but that's when we come across that one, and with that skin still on it, that couldn't have been old at all because the skin was still right there on it. Just pulled up over its head, over up into its neck area. You tell the neck was broken, and the skin was right there where the neck and head was.
Were the front legs broken?
I didn't see the legs broken on that one, no.
Have you ever found them with the front legs broken?
The front legs are usually gone because they're not attached to them. It's just meat that attaches those front legs, and usually when the meat's gone, the legs go with it. Them front legs.
Yeah, we got a question from Dee Dee here. How long did it take? How long did it take for them to let their presence known after you were moved in?
All right, I moved here in October of 2018. We started seeing them when I put my first eye on one was in September, late September, early October. Is when I first seen my first one out here. But we had a lot of things happen before I actually laid my eyes on one. My brother had actually said he had seen one, but we all laughed at him. We still kick ourselves in the rear end for that one.
Okay. So, like I told everybody, we're going to end the show with the Miss Jody's howls. Oops, excuse me. I have one more question for Flatrock. We're almost at the hour mark. Like I told you, it would be a blink of an eye, and then we'd be all over. Here's my question: what advice would you give to someone who believes they might be living on the same property as a Sasquatch?
What would I do?
What advice would you give to someone who believes they might have them living on their property?
Don't go to the police because they ain't gonna give you no help. That's advice I'd give you. Because we went to the authorities, and even though the county and the local police, which the local police is over in Evergreen, the county police, they all believe they know they're here, but they can't help at all. They will not document it. They will not help you. State police, they laugh you off, which they did. I got in touch with the game warden, which was parked right over here at the creek on the bridge, and I told him the situation. Actually showed him that one picture, that one standing behind the bush, and brought him over here to the spot. and he told me that they are real, that they are in these woods. And what really surprised me was when he told me they were fairly protected. And that's what really surprised me. And that's when I started asking him questions, about, well, why are we told, why don't they exist? Or not that they, I thought they didn't exist, and conversation went on. I still got the man's number on my phone. And but there were some things that happened. That's another story that happened afterwards, after he had left. There were some things that happened, and I can talk about that on another story, on another show. But we did get a hold of authorities. Yes.
Okay. All right, everybody. I'm going to play that howl, Miss Jody's howls for everybody. Flatrock, you want to tell everybody what they're going to hear with Miss Jody's howl?
What they're gonna hear, they're gonna, Miss Angie, she's gonna, say who's all there. We're all sitting around a fire. We have Jody, she's a professional singer, and we had her walk over here behind my house here, out my back door to this block of woods, and she was gonna, sing out a tone, and she gets a call back.
Okay, everybody.
It sounds just like her too. It sounds just like what she put out. It come back the same.
It's pretty amazing. So here we go, everybody. We're going to play this up until after the howls, and then I'll end it. It's probably about 3 minutes long. So we'll come back. Here we go.
Okay, we're sitting around the campfire. It's Saturday night.
You're gonna make me
There's Joe, Pat, and there's Jody, and there's Flatrock, and Bud over here acting like he's doing something.
You're gonna make me move my pitch.
So we have a new thing we're going to try. We have a theory that if Jody,
Pitching.
who is classically trained in singing, if she hits certain high notes, we're hoping to get some kind of a response. So do your thing, girl. Get in your mood.
Are we ready?
We're ready. Are you ready? That's the question.
I'm not. So you want me to duplicate what we just heard?
Whatever you want to do.
And
Yes,
I
as long as you can.
Yeah. Hey, you gonna walk around? You just gonna do it right there?
Hell, I go over with her.
She's just going to walk in, right?
I go into the wood line.
She's in full weather, can move.
Keep on going all the way to the wood line. We're all the way to the wood line.
You got her on camera over?
There was something to reach out there and snatch your guys.
Go with her.
Oh, right there. You're almost out of sight.
Keep on going.
That's good.
Oh, that's good.
Me too, Blue.
The dogs.
One more time.
You hearing stuff over there?
You got them dog door.
There it is.
holy shit.
Holy shit.
That was pretty amazing. It's like the same tone.
Same tone. That was amazing.
And these recordings, actually Dave Ellis has them and is going through them. So they're pretty substantial. It was an awesome howl that Jody did, and it came right back the same tone and everything. So that was pretty incredible.
Yeah. Now she actually done it again later, and we're talking. This is around 11, 12 o'clock, and after she did it, we get bird sounds called back. No dogs, no sound whatsoever. Bird calls. But then when we started looking at the film, we had eye shine over behind my mom's house. She got her shed back there, and you could actually see eye shine behind that shed, looking straight toward us. Sure could. So I believe, myself personally, believe that was what was making them bird sounds.
So we're at the hour mark, and before you go, I got one more question. What is the craziest sound vocal that you've ever heard at your place?
Craziest vocal. Oh goodness, I've got so much. Craziest vocal, I'd say when it growled at me, for the first time. That's what I'd believe, outside out here when they were banging on my house, was the growl, because there was one up front that was howling or hooing, whatever he was doing, oh, like that. And I howled back at him, and because he went on for 10 minutes doing that. But when I did it, about 10 seconds after I did it, there's one right here behind my house, right here, just inside the wood line, growled at me. That was I think one of my good ones.
Well, that would do
I
it.
also got one that I caught last April or 2 Aprils ago. It actually said a word. It says "Husahe Tua." I've been trying to find out. I've been sending it off to people trying to figure out, has anybody ever heard that? That Husahe Tua before? Cause it sounds Native American. But I ain't been able to find out yet.
I just have a recording that I just came across on my next video that has a Native American sounding vocal too. So we'll have to compare them together. Pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah, I sent that recording to you, but you can actually hear it say "Husahe Tua," and it's also on my Facebook page.
All right, you want to tell everybody how to find you?
Just go to Flatrockwoodboogers on Facebook. That's where I'll be.
All right. Well, I'm there, and there's got a lot of other good people there, and just make sure you guys stop in over there. And if you're hearing about Flatrock for the first time tonight, you should definitely pay attention to what he comes, because not a lot of people have him living right with them, and he's a wealth of knowledge, and not by choice. So again, I applaud you for that.
Not by choice. You got that right.
Right. So thank you for stopping in. If you could hang out back for a little bit until I get done, I want to talk to you before you go. And
okay.
So, ladies and gentlemen, our friend and your friend, Mr. Flatrockwoodbooger. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for showing up once again on the show. I forgot I was supposed to do a break halfway through. I'm going to start doing like a little stretch break halfway through and play some music for you. But when you got someone like Flatrock on the show, you kind of get involved in what's going on, and I went right past it. So next week we have, I just want to double check and make sure, but I believe it is Miss Pat coming on the show, and hopefully Mr. Joe too stops by. So let me check my calendar. Yep. So Miss Pat next week, and hopefully Mr. Joe joins her, and then Eric Tipton's the following week, and then Misty and the girls from Sass are coming then, and then Coombo is on the 18th, and then Spencer's on the 25th, and then we're right into Easter Sunday. So we're on the southern loop tour right now. So once again, remember everybody, I can't do my little outro thing that I usually do, so just be kind. Pray for everybody. Pray for whatever, and just pray that their people will be better, and just be kind to one another, because we're all in it for the same reason. We're trying to find answers, and because someone thinks differently than the other one, shouldn't matter. So anyways, that's all I got for this week. Thank you for all showing up, and I will see you all next Monday.
I'm trapped inside a fake reality. Better days will never come for me.